getting my boots filthy round here. Let's hurry up and get out of here, Beth. There you are. I never thought to see you in a hole like this. Do not worry, my darling. We will find something for you.
But the answer is obvious, my good knight. With all the coin you owe me, I've enough to buy a small manse and dress in Moorish silk until the day I die.
What? I feel as though I'm talking to that coin hoarder, Shataya. Come now. That's not why I'm here. I've come for you.
If you want to fuck whores, you have to open your purse, my lord. Otherwise, you best aim lower and force yourself upon a servant wench. You haven't paid Shataya, but you will pay me.
I don't like being taken for a fool, girl. This business seems anything but honest to me. Sir Giles will not pay a groat if I have anything to do with it.
That's what I feared. You grand lords always stay together and keep the small folk down. It's a good thing we know how to do likewise. Gun, sir! Our guests want to plead poverty.
That's not honest, my lords. Not honest at all. Come on, lads. Let's show the good lords the price of not paying their debts. Damn woman. Damn them to hell.
Warrior, defend me. What a massacre.
We are done here, Sir Giles. Let the girl take care of the men who died for her.
Died for me? Gunsir only took me in because I'd promised him gold. Otherwise, he would have made me his mistress. Fate had already been too kind to him.
You chose your own friends. Don't try to blame them. You are now free from his clutches. All you have to do is find yourself another patron, or get by on your own.
Sir Alistair, if I may, I am to blame for her stooping that low. I can take her in as one of my servants and give her a new life. Here you are. Take this purse. It isn't much, but I wish to thank you for all you have done for me.
Thank you, sir. I hope she will not cause you any more troubles. May the Lord protect each of you as you deserve.
Never fear, my lord. This is far more than I could have hoped for. I won't ruin it all this time. I have a little statue of the maiden, to which I usually pray. Take it. I won't be needing it anymore.
I hope so. My work here is done. May the light of the Lord protect you.
Alistair, were you able to discover anything?
I know what happened. The murderers in the sewers were targeting a boy by the name of Cedric Rivers. His last name leaves no room for doubt. He's a bastard child, just like those the Queen is hunting down. But the assassins also killed whoever else was in the hideout at that time, and that's how Gawain fell victim to them.
How can something this dreadful have been allowed to happen?
He really is dead. His body was moved to the city watchtower. I saw it with my own eyes.
By the father. That poor boy. Sir Desmond told me of the bandits you encountered. Was it they who killed Gawain?
The Reapers did the dirty work. There's no denying that. But they were just pawns. They are now paying for their crimes.
What do you mean?
I coerced some of their members to tell me what happened, and that information led me to the city watchtower. That's where I found Gawain's corpse. But that's not all. The leader of the Reapers, the murderer himself, was locked up there. He confessed everything. The commander of the city watch paid him to carry out the task. Then he left him to rot in the dungeons, so that the crime would never be traced back to him. And here is the proof. Look at this letter. It was Valar himself who gave the assassination order to the commander of the city watch. He's behind everything.
Are you saying your half-brother murdered Gawain? I do not understand. Why would he do such a thing?
Look at what's written here. See that you do not leave any witness. He must have known that Gawain would be with Cedric. Valar was trying to capture my brother after all. This was an ideal opportunity for him. He didn't leave him any chance of clearing his name.
You believe he acted out of revenge?
Obviously. He wants to wipe out the Sarwics and take control of Riverspring. Valar used this opportunity to get rid of him. One less obstacle in the way of his conquest. He is now assured that he will become head of House Sarwick, being both my sister's husband and my father's only descendant.
What are you planning to do?
Gawain was my brother. I can't just let that bastard Valar destroy my family. He will pay with his blood. I'll never let that wretch take the ancestral lands of House Sarwick. I already have this letter which proves his involvement in the sewer murders. I have to find out what it is that links these murders and expose Valar's treachery. Once the people learn of his treachery, the Queen will have no choice but to sever her ties with him.
You are right. The answer probably lies with the bastards that the Queen is hunting down.
I'm not sure I follow.
Well, if you think about it, isn't that what all these murders have in common? All the victims were bastards. In fact, you helped track one of them down yourself, didn't you?
I only helped the Queen to get back my land and titles. It was the best way to show my loyalty, and I'm willing to get my hands dirty so that my family can regain its former wealth.
Certainly. And your resolve does you credit. But why did she call on you? If these targets really were enemies of the Crown, why didn't she send the gold cloaks?
Indeed. She chose an inconspicuous method every time.
The Queen does not wish for this matter to be made public.
These bastards are not chosen at random. Valar himself is one, but he's not worried. So there must be some other link between them. But what? I can't put my finger on it.
I might have a lead on this matter. One of my contacts at court passed a letter on to me. It's from Lord Jon Arryn himself, the King's Hand. He sent it to the Red Keep sometime before his death. It was meant for Grand Maester Pycelle, who sits on the Royal Council.
You claim he wrote a letter just 2 weeks before his death. But what did it say?
Well, Jon Arryn asked the Grand Maester to consult a book on the lineages of the Seven Kingdoms. And this came after he was seen in the company of Stannis Baratheon, visiting various dens of ill repute. It caused quite a stir. If you're unfamiliar with these two men, they have long established reputations of unfailing virtue. Normally, neither of them would ever frequent that kind of establishment. After a little investigating, I learned that the Hand had visited half a dozen bastards that day, one of whom was the Potter that you and Sir Valar killed. In light of all these pieces of information, I've some doubts that Jon Arryn's death was by natural causes.
You think that because he was walking about town and consulting some tome on lineage that someone had the Hand of the King assassinated?
Think about it. If Jon Arryn discovered something about those bastards that someone powerful didn't want him to know, I have a feeling that this book on lineages holds the key to this mystery. And I've sent word to a man capable of shedding light on all of that for us. He's a Maester of the Citadel called Rupert. He's also an expert in ancient texts, and it just so happens that he has worked on the book. I do not know him personally, but he has agreed to meet with us. He was asked to bring a copy of the tomb.
Why call on this Maester Rupert?
Grand Maester Pycelle is the Queen's loyal servant. It would be highly inadvisable to contact him directly. However, there is still one concern to settle: the payment.
How much is he asking for?
That's the problem. He does not seek money. If he did, this matter would already be settled. He wants a particular settlement, but he refuses to explain himself in writing. He would rather discuss this in private.
Fine. I will meet with him. Where can I find him?
The meeting has been arranged near an illegal arena, hidden in the sewers. I sincerely hope he will give us the help we need. I've already taken the liberty of sending Sir Desmond there, as he knows these parts well. He will be able to come to your aid if something goes wrong.
Thank you, Lord Halden.
Maester Rupert, here is the man I was speaking of. Sir Alistair Sarwick.
It's an honor, sir. Now that your friend is here, let us get straight to the point. I understand that one of my books has piqued your interest?
Indeed, Maester. The book on the lineages of the Seven Kingdoms. You have brought it with you, haven't you?
Don't get ahead of yourself. You'll get the book, but only once you've paid me the price I ask.
What is your price, then?
The price is my life. You have no doubt heard of the secret fights organized in this arena. Well, I've gotten myself into a bit of a debt there.
What kind of debt?
The kind of bet I'll never be able to fully repay. I wagered with the owner of this ring a life of servitude against all his riches. And I lost. As is traditional for merchants of the free cities, Ossifer is proclaiming to everyone that I'm his slave. He left me only one way out. If I want to be free again, I have to defeat his champion in the arena. The problem is that his champion is a savage warrior who goes by the name of Eruk. They say he can crush the skulls of his enemies with his bare hands.
I see. You clearly stand no chance against him.
Exactly. But Ossifer never said I couldn't appoint a man to fight for me. Unfortunately, I don't know of anyone in King's Landing who could possibly defeat such a brute.
Now I understand why you have turned to us.
Yes, I'm sure it's quite obvious. I think you stand a much better chance in this arena than me.
Maybe. It's just that I don't typically put on a show in illegal fights.
Sir Alistair, a man must sometimes take the darker path that will lead him to the light of justice. Come on. This book would allow you to see exactly what the Queen fears so much, and to bring down Valar at the same time.
Fine. I will do whatever is necessary to avenge Gawain's death.
Wonderful. You're a lifesaver, sir.
You know full well that I am not doing this for you, Rupert.
No matter. It all amounts to the same thing for me. Leave me a moment. I need to formalize everything with Ossifer. There he is, Ossifer. That man right there is my champion.
Oh, I really didn't think you'd managed to talk some poor bastard into this. Welcome, sir. So, you're willing to risk your life for this ass of a man? I hope you know what you're doing.
So you'll keep your word, eh? If he defeats your champion, my debt is no more.
Yes, but we both know that will never happen. Erok is undefeated. As you have chosen to die in the arena, you'll need a fighting name. How do you wish to be introduced to the crowd?
I will be Azor Ahai, Warrior of the Light.
What a spectacular name. It should be a real crowd pleaser. Take the door on the left and prepare yourself down there. Then speak to the guard when you're ready. He'll give me the signal and open the gate for you. Better say your prayers. My champion, Erok, comes straight out of the wild lands beyond the wall. That's for you, Rupert. Remember, if your champion dies today, your family will join you in your life of servitude, as agreed.
The fight is going to start any time now. I was able to learn a little about your opponent. Ask me what you'd like to learn, as we have precious little time.
Does this giant have some sort of flaw I can take advantage of?
They say that once he bleeds, it doesn't stop. Cut him and he'll continue to weaken as the fight drags on. Do you hear that? This is it. It's time for your duel.
A flame will soon be extinguished. Are you ready? Open the gate. Let's get this over with.
Prepare to be amazed! Tonight, we are lucky enough to be witnessing some unexpected entertainments. For your pleasure tonight, a stranger decided to step up into our arena. Please welcome Azor Ahai! He's going up against a warrior who has fought and killed more than 12 men. You all know who I'm talking about. Here is Erok, of the wild lands that lie beyond the wall. Only one of these warriors will leave this arena victorious. Which will it be? I hope you have all placed your wagers. Let the fight commence!
You should be proud, Sir Alistan. That was a fight to remember.
Wonderful! You just saved my life.
Damn! You killed one of my best men. But by the seven, was this show worth it?
Reminds me of the good old days, in the time of the great Lucifer the Unvanquished. What a fight!
I was not fighting for mere glory. The book, Rupert.
Here you go. You deserved it. You're an excellent fighter. If you ever fight in these parts again, you must send me word.
Let us return to my lord's residence, Sir Alistair. We'll feel more at ease there.
You go on ahead. I'll meet you there.
Very well. Here, take this key. It'll let you access the basement from the courtyard. I made good use of it at times, when my lord sent me down here to recruit fighters. Be safe, and return to us soon.
Come back anytime, my friend. This arena will always welcome you. You will soon make a name for yourself, and a fortune. Just let me find a new champion first. It's going to take a while, so feel free to take a look around town in the meantime.
Sir Alistair, Desmond was just telling me of your adventures. Congratulations on your victory.
Would that I didn't have to fight, but at least we have the book.
Get the book out. We must start our research without delay. I don't understand. What could Jon Arryn have possibly found in this book?
Indeed. I also cannot see what secret this book could hold. Wait! Go back!
What did you see?
Maybe I'm mistaken, but the bastard that I hunted down with Valar, he had dark hair and blue eyes. When I talked to the city watchguards after the sewer murders, they told me that the victim, Cedric, was also dark-haired. All births from the marriages between Baratheons and Lannisters have this in common. Raven hair prevails over golden. Of course. Now I know what Jon Arryn discovered. Children.
What are you talking about?
We have been researching the bastard line when we should be looking at the legitimate children. Cersei is a Lannister and Robert is a Baratheon. Their children should have dark hair and blue eyes, as is written in the book. It has always been so. And yet, they are blonde. The royal children are illegitimate. This is what Jon Arryn discovered.
By the Seven! But then, the bastards that the damned queen is hunting down.
They are the only true descendants of King Robert Baratheon. That's why the queen wants them dead. R'hllor's light. The queen even involved me in this treachery.
She didn't hesitate to execute the bastard children of that fool, Robert, to keep his adultery a secret. Everything she does so to serve herself. Her people might well die, and on her orders too, if she deemed it necessary.
And Valar being her little pet only makes matters worse. This news makes the race to control Riverspring even more dire. The future of my people is at stake, and the only reason Valar desires the lands are power and vengeance.
No doubt Cersei finds watching her catspaw groom himself in her image an amusing distraction. It's time we did something. If not, your lands, and perhaps the realm, may never recover from this.
Indeed. Changes will have to come. I cannot allow Riverspring to flounder on such grounds.
It seems that we are in agreement. Listen, Sir Alistair. I think it's time I confided in you. As you know, my friend, the Usurper, claimed the Iron Throne just after your departure, 15 years ago. From that moment on, he never gave a second thought to the people. The Queen took advantage of this and ended up assuming the real power through her numerous schemes. Your father and I quickly realized that no good could come of this monarchy. Nothing like this would ever have happened during the times of the Targaryen rule. Under their aegis, the kingdom was more prosperous, untroubled, and governed in a much fairer way than with Robert Baratheon and his damned Queen Lannister.
From what I understand, Aerys the Mad reigned over his people under the aegis of fear and madness. It was his cruelty that pushed the kingdom toward rebellion.
His reign was but a brief moment when you consider the 300 years of Targaryen sovereignty. It is true that his madness drew a dark shadow over the dynasty, but it should not be judged by one man's mistakes. If Aerys II was considered unfit to take the crown, surely the usurper and his queen deserve just as much, if not worse. That is what your father and I thought. And in time, we came to understand that we weren't the only ones disappointed in the usurper. Many others were of the same opinion. Lords, as well as ordinary men. Gradually, we became a group and realized that by joining forces, we could perhaps bring about change. Our cause continued to spread. Our plans had time to evolve, and today, this group has become a true brotherhood, both powerful and ubiquitous. Sir Alistair, I wish for you to join the Brotherhood. We share the same goals. Together, we will avenge the death of your brother. Together, we may be able to save River Spring by bringing back the Targaryen.
Do you realize that if something goes wrong, we lose everything? We'll be tried and executed for treason.
It's a risk that your father and I were willing to take. To us, this cause was more important than our own lives.
And so, what is your plan?
We'll start with what we've discovered today, and use it to destroy Valar, as well as the Queen's influence. Once the King learns of their conspiring, he will have them executed. This will be the first step in our overthrowing him. His actions will spark a revolt. If the revolt catches on, we'll take this opportunity to rally the people and the various lords of the Seven Kingdoms. While they kill each other, we'll be building strength.
Very well. So let us send ravens throughout the kingdom to spread the news.
Let us not be too hasty, my friend. The Queen has powerful allies. This attack needs to be decisive. If we show our hand too soon, the game will be lost forever. Besides, our goal is not to create anarchy. I still need time to arrange the succession to the throne. In the meantime, let us gather all the evidence we can find to ensure the widest support possible. What we have now is gilt-edged information, but it lacks the substance it needs to really drive the point home at the moment of revelation.
Where else do you think we can find further evidence?
Your father and I always believed that the best way to manipulate the situation was to sow discord among the royal couple. Today's discovery is the result of all our hard work. Your father compiled a list detailing all of Valar's abuses of power on behalf of the Queen. He believed that driving a wedge between her and the king was ripe for exploiting.
Father always understood the true nature of Valar.
Reinhald sent me a letter revealing some important findings. He wished to speak to me in person, but he died before he got the chance. I think he wanted me to know about his findings, and that they are still somewhere in River Spring. You'll recognize the documents I speak of by the Targaryen dragon inscribed along the bottom of each page. They will no doubt be encrypted. The Brotherhood uses its own language in case our documents fall into the wrong hands.
That's good to know.
I must leave the task of finding it up to you. Valar is after a woman who is of great importance to the Brotherhood. I've made the necessary arrangements regarding this matter, and I need to return to Castlewood in order to manage this operation. My stay at King's Landing lasted longer than expected.
I know this woman. Her name is Jane Greystone. I was supposed to help Valar look for her and bring her back to the Queen. Dead.
I see. Know then, that for our Brotherhood, This young girl is perhaps the only solution to the woes of this kingdom. We will speak of this again, once you find your father's documents.
What about Valar?
Don't concern yourself with him. One of my spies has infiltrated his gang. I am told his every move.
Very well. We'll meet again at Castle Wood once I get hold of my father's findings. Good luck, my lord.
I wish you luck too, my friend. And don't forget, those documents are of the utmost importance.